What makes a true friend? Is it just someone who laughs with you, or is there something more? Today, we're going to dig deep into the concept of friendship, its significance, and the multifaceted nature of this relationship. You see, not everyone who smiles at you and calls you a friend truly is. There are times when we're surrounded by those who merely wear the mask of friendship. This brings us to the crux of our discussion today: signs of false friends. So what are the signs that someone is not a true friend? Let's dive in. One clear sign of a false friend is the fair weather friend. This is the type of friend who's always around when the skies are clear and life is breezy. They're there for the fun times, the parties, the laughter, the good times that create delightful memories. They're by your side when you're riding high, basking in the sunshine of success. They're the cheerleaders in your victory parade, the high fives in your triumphs. But what happens when the skies darken, when life throws a curveball and the sun of success is obscured by the clouds of adversity? Where's the fair weather friend then? Well, let's delve into that. The fair weather friend is like a leaf in the wind. They're there when the breeze is gentle, but when the storm comes, they're blown away. They're nowhere to be found when you need a shoulder to lean on or an ear to listen. They're absent when you're struggling, when life is tough, and when you need support the most. This is because the fair weather friend is not invested in your well-being. They're not concerned about your struggles, your worries, or your pain. They're in it for the good times, the laughs, and the joys. But when things get tough, they disappear. They're not reliable, they're not dependable, they're not there for you when you need them the most. This is not to say that all fair weather friends are intentionally malicious or uncaring. Some might simply lack the emotional maturity or understanding to be there during tough times. They might not know how to handle adversity, or they may be dealing with their own issues. However, the end result is the same. They're not there when you need them most. So, how do you spot a fair weather friend? Look for inconsistency. Look for the friend who's there for the highs but disappears during the lows. Look for the friend who's all about fun but shies away from serious conversations or difficult situations. A true friend sticks with you through thick and thin, not just when the sun is shining. Another sign of a false friend is the constant critic. Now, we all have those moments where we need to be brought back down to earth, right? That's where true friends come in. They're the ones who offer constructive criticism, helping us to grow and improve. They point out our shortcomings, yes, but they also provide support and solutions. They're like the coaches in our personal development team, pushing us to be the best version of ourselves. But then there are those who only criticize. These false friends seem to have an uncanny knack for pointing out everything that's wrong with us without ever offering a word of encouragement or a suggestion for improvement. They're like a constant rain cloud, ready to pour down on our parade at any moment. So, how can we tell the difference between constructive and destructive criticism? Well, constructive criticism is like a sandwich. It starts with a positive comment, followed by the critique, then ends with another positive remark. It's designed to cushion the blow, showing that the person giving the criticism cares about our feelings. On the other hand, destructive criticism is like a wrecking ball. It comes in hard and fast, leaving us feeling demolished. There's no positive feedback, no suggestions for improvement, just a barrage of negativity. And it's not just what they say, but how they say it. True friends use a gentle, caring tone, even when they're pointing out our flaws. False friends, however, use a harsh, judgmental tone that leaves us feeling belittled and worthless. So what should you do if you find yourself dealing with a constant critic? Well, it's important to remember that their criticism says more about them than it does about you. It could be a reflection of their own insecurities or a way for them to feel superior. Stand up for yourself. Let them know that their criticism is not constructive and is hurting your feelings. If they continue to belittle you, it might be time to reconsider the friendship. Remember, a friend's criticism should aim to build you up, not tear you down. A third sign of a false friend is the one-sided relationship. Now, this is something many of us have experienced at some point in our lives. We've all had that friend who seems to be more interested in their own lives than in ours. But true friendships, my dear listeners, should be a two-way street. Picture this. You're always there for them, always ready to lend an ear, always willing to offer advice or help in any way you can. You invest time, energy, and emotions into the relationship, but when it's your turn to need support, they're nowhere to be found. Does that sound familiar? In a genuine friendship, both parties should be equally invested. It's about more than just hanging out together or having fun. It's about caring for each other's well-being, being there during the tough times as well as the good ones, and taking an active interest in each other's lives. But in a one-sided friendship, it's a different story. You might find that you're always the one initiating contact or making plans. You might notice that they rarely ask about your day, your feelings, or your experiences. Instead, they monopolize the conversation with their own stories and concerns, showing little interest in your life. What's more, this kind of friend often takes more than they give. They might rely on you for emotional support, favors, or even financial help, but they're not willing to reciprocate. They may come to you with their problems, but when you're the one in need, they're suddenly too busy or uninterested. Now, it's important to remember that we all have moments of selfishness or self-absorption. We all have times when we're not the best friends we could be, but if this behavior is a consistent pattern, if it makes you feel neglected, used, or undervalued, then it's a clear sign that this is not a true friendship. Friendship is a give-and-take relationship, not a one-way street. So if you find yourself in a one-sided friendship, it might be time to reconsider whether this person truly deserves a place in your life. And finally, a clear sign of a false friend is the gossip monger. Now, we've all come across this type of friend at some point or another, haven't we? The one who's always eager to share the latest scoop, especially when it's about someone else's life. The one who thrives on the thrill of revealing secrets, not caring about the consequences or the trust they're breaking. This, my friends, is the classic signature of the gossip monger. True friends, on the other hand, show immense respect for your privacy. You see, a genuine friendship is built on a solid foundation of trust. It's about knowing that you can share your deepest thoughts and fears, your dreams and aspirations, without worrying that they'll become the talk of the town the next day. True friends guard your secrets as if they were their own, understanding the sacredness of the trust placed in them. But a gossip monger? Oh, they're a different breed altogether. They see your secrets as currency, something to be traded for popularity or to gain an upper hand. They don't understand, or perhaps don't care about, the concept of confidentiality. It's like a game to them, a game where they don't mind stepping over boundaries and breaking trust as long as they get their moment of thrill. Now let's get one thing straight. Gossiping doesn't necessarily make someone a bad person. We all indulge in a little harmless chatter now and then, but when it comes to sharing personal and sensitive information about others without their consent, that's when it crosses the line. That's when it becomes a sign of false friendship. In the end, it all boils down to trust. Trust is the glue that holds friendships together. It's the invisible bond that gives us the liberty to be our true selves with our friends. So if you find your trust being compromised, if you find your secrets being aired like dirty laundry, then maybe it's time to question the authenticity of that friendship. A true friend knows your secrets and keeps them. A false friend spreads them. So let's recap the signs of a false friend. First, we dove into the fair weather friend, that person who seems to be around only when it's convenient or beneficial for them. They're the first to celebrate your wins, but are nowhere to be found when you're facing challenges. Then, we talked about the constant critic. This is the friend who seems to have a knack for pointing out your flaws, often disguising their criticism as just being honest. Remember, there's a fine line between constructive criticism and constant negativity. Next, we highlighted the one-sided relationship. This is the friend who leans heavily on you for support, but is strangely absent when you need a shoulder to lean on. In this type of friendship, you're doing all the giving and they're doing all the taking. Finally, we examined the gossip monger. This is the friend who can't keep a secret and seems to enjoy spreading information about others. If they're talking about others to you, chances are they're talking about you to others. All these signs are red flags that you might not be dealing with a true friend. It's important to remember that friendship, like any relationship, should be based on mutual respect, trust, and understanding. Remember, true friends are those who support, respect, and value you as you are. Choose wisely and cherish those true friends you have.